O'Neill works with her team of experts. Listen to conversations with business professionals to discover the latest business innovations, insights, and trends. Find out what's hot and what's not in today's business market.
Hi, everyone. It is Nancy O'Neill. I am here at the Southfield Library. I'm actually on the patio right now. I thought I was going to be able to stay in a room, but that did not happen because I don't have a group with me. So I am in contact with Kimle. I am not sure exactly what is going on, but I'm expecting her shortly. We are just going to go ahead and get started on the with the membership video. I do want to remind everybody that this upcoming July 5th is our ribbon cutting ceremony where we will have Kimle as a special guest. So let's go ahead and take a look at the membership video, and then I will get right back to you. Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill, the director of the Detroit Business Hub Group. We were recently featured in Fortune and Entrepreneur magazine. I started DBHG to help real estate and insurance agents compete in today's competitive marketplace. As a former real estate and insurance agent, I did not have a mentor myself who I was accountable to. As a member of DBHG, we network, mentor, and train sales professionals to be competitive in today's marketplace. Our certification and accreditation helps you to level up.
One of the big reasons we became part of this was to be around other people that are involved with the same kind of business we're in, which is real estate. And we don't want people to go through some of the things we went through as far as trying to find financing. We're trying to give those resources to people so they know where to go to get that information, to get those lenders and contact information. It's not just finance, but also, like you said, mentorship involved in, anything from finding your appraiser to finding your commercial real estate agent.
I believe with the mentorship program, you can really catapult yourself into a long-term successful career as an insurance agent or real estate agent. As a DBHG member, you receive access to experienced business coaches in your industry and coaching sessions, access to capital, access to DBHG mastermind coaching sessions, access to DBHG podcasts, access to webinars, in-person seminars and workshops, access to our DBHG certification and accreditation programs, and networking opportunities with like-minded professionals in your industry.
There were a lot of things that we learned along the way, and it was a great tool for us to come here. And I think it's beneficial for the people here that don't know about how to go about purchasing and all the resources that are out there to get that information from someone like me that can make their journey easier for them, that they don't have to reinvent the wheel.
So what Detroit Business Hub Group means to me is connecting with other business owners and professionals through a network of peers so we can all learn and grow together. Ideally, we all learn to do business together as well. Networking is so important because we all need to learn to build and grow together. Networking is the lifeblood of any business. After all, if the consumer doesn't know about you, how can they do business with you, right? So somebody told me once before that if your phone isn't ringing, you're not in business. We all need to keep our phones ringing. Mentorship is so important because we all have to learn and try to shorten the learning curve as much as possible so we can gain success faster. Anybody who's experienced success has also experienced failure. So the idea is to try to shorten the learning curve to get to the point of success faster and easier. If we don't need to reinvent the wheel, if there's mistakes that we know other people have made, let's learn from that and try to avoid those same mistakes.
Yes, I'm working with DBHG. We have an event coming up January 22nd, and we are launching an investment club, and I'm excited about it. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to build wealth and leave a legacy to their family as well. So this would be feel like with the opportunities that I have in front of me, that it'll be profitable, we'll do very well, and everybody will be happy. I'm going to be telling my story, some of my strategies, and things that I did to build my real estate portfolio, and then also launching the Real Estate Investment Club.
A lot of professional networking from a real estate perspective. Today we have a commercial seminar, very informative, met a lot of different professional people in real estate, investment, a lot of investment consultants. So as overall, in my last year, it's been a very positive networking experience.
Networking is the lifeline, the blood of it. This is a relationship-based business. That's the bottom line. You're only good as your name, and people is what they view you as. So,
networking is very important. Relationships are always key with anything that you do. You find out that the recommendations of some people, that a lot of the banks use the same people. A lot of the real estate agents go to the same people. And because they know their work and they trust that they're going to be honest with their evaluations of different things. So
where like-minded people come together for one common goal, and we are heavily, focused on community service, and that's what really the organization is really roots, and what we're rooted on is actually helping the community. That's one of the big things of us getting involved with commercial development, is to try to redevelop our communities. That's what this whole thing is really all about.
Minority business owners today need mentorship, training, and networking opportunities. We provide that with DBHG.
Computer, and I can't get away from it.
No problem.
Try to do an angle.
Detroit Business Hub Group Director Nancy O'Neill works with her team of experts. Listen to conversations with business professionals to discover the latest business innovations, insights, and trends. Find out what's hot and what's not in today's business market.
Hello, Kimle. I'm so excited that you were able to join us this evening. Welcome back to the show, your second time being a guest with us.
Yes.
And the nice thing, the great thing about today is that our event with you as a part of our DBHG lecture series is only 1 month away. So we are super excited. Go ahead and introduce yourself again and tell us a little. We're going to get a little bit more details from you about our upcoming event, April 23rd.
Yeah, so first and foremost, again, thank you for having me come back. I'm very excited about the transformation we're bringing inside of real estate, finance, and banking. I just can't wait until we actually have the opportunity to be together. And for a little bit about myself again, for those who are chiming in for the first time, I am Kimle Nailer. I'm the owner of a construction company. I'm also the owner of a real estate investment company and a coaching for women, Positive Sisters. So Nail-Rite Construction is where we do larger commercial projects. We do a lot of home remodeling. Right now, we're working on an amazing home where someone has bought the closet organizers. They have a huge home and they've got all their closets so they can all be redesigned with the organizers. That's been pretty exciting. We also do rehab. So if you're an investor and you're looking to fix up your homes to either rent, sell, we can come in and lend you some expertise. And not only do we just come in from a construction standpoint, because I am a fellow investor, I can help give you advice on, you don't want to do too much investing here because you're trying to keep your profits, right? In addition to that, that's kind of where I do my real estate business. I love empowering women financially, because a woman just feels some kind of way when she has her bag, as they say. So this is really a joy to me to share with women. And I have clients that are male as well, but it's just really empowering to see women feel that they can own their destiny. And we do know that it is scientifically proven that when women excel financially, they do more uplifting for their families and their communities. So I like the feed into the power and the range of influences. I know women have that ability to really make impact. So that's what's exciting.
Great. Well, I know that you were at the Shannon Steele event. We are definitely looking towards part 2 of our lecture series with you talking about housing and social advocacy. So kind of give us a snippet of what you plan to discuss. I know that you're really big into ecosystems. Tell us what you plan to discuss at our upcoming event.
So what we're going to talk about is the 4th principle of Kwanzaa. and that's Ujamaa. And
Okay.
there's this need like never before for collective economics, cooperative economics. It's not the time when you can kind of pull yourself up by your back bootstraps. This is not the season to make sure I get mine because things are going so fast. If you want to make sure you play and play well, you have to come in with some partnerships so that you
Right.
can dominate some industries. So we're going to talk about a system of whereby this whole concept of buying the block for real estate investors who might be new, but you're transforming your communities, you're empowering yourself economically, and you're shifting change in the minds of the next generation because now they see we can make change and impact. And that's something we don't get to see every day. And coming from Shannon's event, we know there's more Black bankers who are emerging. So now we have resources to go to where we can empower ourselves economically. We can hold the note that creates the stream of wealth and also transform our neighborhoods. Because now when we bring these property values up, we actually increase our city services. So residents want to come in and live in the community. And I think it's going to be exciting. We're going to have a model, which we call through syndication. And actually this weekend, Nancy, I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas, leaving Thursday through Sunday. And we'll be talking about this model a little more in depth. So I'm looking forward to bringing some of that good insights, the secrets of successful syndication. So we'll be bringing that information back with you. So we're going to be bringing it to you because this year is going to be unlike any other year. We're asking you to get prepared, to shift your mind thinking and what you think is possible. We're not going to focus on the how to. We're going to focus on that desire, the what, and what must happen. Trust me, when you create that kind of void, that's when the magics and the miracles occur. So I'm excited to talk about this.
Oh, well, great. We're so excited to have you as a guest. So since the last time you were on our show, which was about a month ago now, we have had Gerald Graham and the Jetta Group. How did you two meet? Because I'm just kind of curious how when you talk about building your ecosystem, I'm just kind of curious as to find out how some of these connections took place. And have you all worked on any projects together? Like, what's the extent of your relationship?
Well, I am listed on several sites, my construction company, and being Black owned, they called and say, hey, we want to know more about how we can work together. And so and it happened to be a few days before the Shannon event, your first quarterly event. And I said, you need to come with me. You need to come with me and see some other Black professionals who are trailblazing in this space. So we haven't worked together just yet. They had a couple of properties I've sent some contractors to look at. I'm kind of swamped with some things ramping up. And so that's how we met initially, just from a phone call. And we talked for the longest and we had similarities. We're aligned. And that's why I say it's a new season, people. It's a new season. People are calling you and they're right online. We were doing a project where we had been meeting for about 5 or 6 weeks. And that was a collaboration of about 5 or 6 organizations. And then all of a sudden I got this call. This guy says, guess what? We just got approved for a $25 million grant. And they're going to do exactly what we were doing. They were calling me to be a part of the training arm of the skilled trades. And that's what we've been discussing for the last 5 or 6 weeks. And we were saying, okay, God, we're developing this, but we need a pipeline. We don't want to just train people, right? Here comes $25 million project, homes being built.
That's wonderful.
This is the magic in the space that we're in. And that's why I'm excited, because it's more than just what it's a good thing to do. There's a deep desire and a passion by so many. And so Daryl and Gerald are both saying they want to be responsible or part of this initiation of commercial investment. And they're doing that Grand River Greenfield hub. And I think it's going to be massive. So I've done some investment in some properties, residential properties. So all that value is going to increase. We're bringing wealth. We're bringing generational wealth. And that's the beauty of this. We're bringing it. That's just the bottom line. We're bringing it. And so that's what we'll be talking about, the how-tos to bring in, how you can fit in and participate. Don't be thinking about, oh, I don't have enough money.
Right.
I'm not asking you to have enough money. I'm asking you to come collaborate, because the money is moving. Do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to see your ROI on your funds? Because that's what we're doing.
Yes. So in other words, what you're saying is that the building up the commercial properties in the residential areas also increases the property value in those areas. Is that what you're saying?
It does, because when you build up a commercial strip, people come to use those services, then they don't mind living in those communities because they have access to the things they normally drive to. People will live close to where they have those immediate needs. And we could bring restaurants, we could bring little small eateries in the summer months. They don't have to go to the suburbs. They can go right on Grand River, and there's this restaurant with a nice eatery and out in front.
Well, grocery stores are really big too in Detroit.
What's that?
Where are all the grocery stores at? I said grocery stores are huge too in Detroit.
Yes.
People want to be able to shop
another venture.
That's they want to be able to shop where. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, you want to the grocery stores. There's another venture that I know. A young brother is under 30.
Oh, wow.
He's initiating a grocery store buy.
Yes, the grocery stores are important because people want to go to a place where they can buy fresh produce without feeling like they're being ripped off, without having to go to the suburbs.
And let's tell the truth, Nancy. You want to also go to the store, you can buy some meat and it doesn't smell like meat. Y'all know I keep it real. I don't like walking in the establishment and I smell it as I'm approaching the meat department. So we do need like the grocery stores.
Yeah, so cleanliness is important. You want to make sure that they're disinfecting the area. And I think the smell, well, if you want to really get into depth, it just comes from the blood from the meat. So to me, it's like cleaning. Like, are people not cleaning the areas properly? So you definitely don't want to like eat the food if it, walk into the grocery store and smell. Yeah.
Yes. I remember walking into one grocery store and the guy was mopping. I said, "Excuse me, young man, I appreciate you trying to do this, but you need to go down one of your aisles and get a new mop because that's an old funky mop. Get a new mop so your customers and get some Pine Sol off the shelf."
Right.
And to give your customers a good experience, because your paycheck is contingent on people shopping here. And this is an area you can control. This isn't contingent on the owner. This is all on you. And he was like, "Oh, I said, yeah. And you know what? I didn't say it in a derogatory manner.
Right.
I made it like he's a part of this team here.
Exactly.
And I want to keep this establishment for our community. And he took care of it, got a fresh mop, Pine Sol. I was like, oh, that's what I'm talking about, bro. So this is something that I say when you talk about collaborating and seeing ourselves as a community, this is where we're all going to grow together. And we can do this around our money too, Nancy.
Exactly. And I think sometimes when I'm trying to think of a PC way to say this, but in certain areas where people feel like they're forgotten, it's like the perception is, well, if this person doesn't have any place else to go anyway, who cares if the store is dirty? At least they have a place to shop. And it's like, no, we have choices. A lot of times we do want to shop in the city, but we just don't, at times, depending on what you're shopping for, you might not have as many alternatives as you would like. And then, people get upset if you go across 8 Mile, but it's like, well, I can go to a clean store, I can buy fresh food. So it's kind of like a catch-22 type thing. But I'm glad, that the areas are being built up, like the Avenue on Livernois and other areas where people do feel comfortable shopping in those areas. Safety is another concern.
Yes.
They feel safe in those areas.
Right.
The stores are clean on the strip. There's a variety of different types of commercial properties. So you have, like you said, you could just go to one spot. You have your art galleries. You can go out to eat at the same time. You can buy clothes at the same time, all on the same street. So it's
a destination. It's like a destination. And I think that's so necessary for our communities because we have been the forgotten. Let's be real. We haven't been
in a lot of areas.
Yeah, we haven't been top priority. And then that mindset we carry it. Then we just think, oh, well, this is enough for us. I mean, look where we
you start to internalize it yourself. Because people saw you will, it's like you're not working in the best conditions, but then people say, well, you got a job.
Yeah.
And like, oh, so I mean, you start to become conditioned to just settling for whatever, gets thrown at you. And it's like, I can't, you he's like aim higher.
It does. It's a conditioning. And that's why this time is so important, because we're educating about shifting the mindset. You
Exactly.
become conditioned and don't even know you have been conditioned. You're expecting less than what you're worth because you've forgotten who you truly are.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I don't really care what your religious practices are. Those are practices. What I care about, if you have an understanding that you are a multidimensional being and you have power.
Right.
Now, you may have been introduced to your powers through various denominations. That's less important. The most important thing is to own the power that you were introduced to through your denomination. And if you practice that connection, that becomes a heart conversation, and the heart will lead you into the greater truth that you need to know. Right. So instead of me trying to argue with you that you need to do it this way, I just try and encourage you, like, have you felt the magic of your real essence, right? Have you seen how this is transforming your creativity? Are you finding passion in your life? Because see, you can't be creative if there's no passion.
Absolutely.
And that's what conditioning does. We're blighted, we're in poverty, we can't make it out. But if somebody comes and says, there were people who were poorer than you that are standing much differently today. And I tell people, it's impossible unless you choose to stay poor. You cannot stay poor a decade. It's impossible to be poor a decade. You didn't make any new choices.
Yeah. Right. And that's one definition. I don't know who gave me this definition, where I heard this from, but they said that a definition of poor is to pass over opportunity repeatedly. Exactly. So it's like opportunity continues to come, and every time an opportunity comes, we've been conditioned to say no, because we don't trust the system, we don't trust the man, we don't trust our own people. So anytime anybody comes to you with the opportunity, you're just like no. And it's like we start to sink deeper and deeper into poverty, because I believe that wealth is it's related to who you know and your connections. And certain people that I look at, it's like they're no smarter than you are, they're no brighter than you are. They just happen to be in the right place at the right time. They made the right connections and they knew what to say. And that was it.
And it really is true. And then, and not only is it you're not trusting other people, you've not connected to yourself to know that this person has showed up because that's what was happening inside of me. So if someone comes to me and I'm not searching for anything, I don't see it. I don't even see the opportunity you're bringing. But if I've been soul searching in my own heart and you show up, I'm like, that's exactly what
I've been looking for.
This is exactly what I knew was.
All right. Well, we are with Kimle live. Kimle, that was so good. I didn't even want to stop the video. I'm trying to figure out, where do I stop? Oh, this part was good. That part was good. And then I forgot some of the stuff we talked about. So we have both had a day. Oh, I muted you. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I was saying that was a powerful conversation. It was like, is that really us?
It was so good. It was us. That was us. Yeah, I went to the library. I'm at the Southfield Library because I have choir rehearsal at 7. So I said I could just videotape at the library and then I'll go to choir rehearsal. It's right down the street. And I get here and they're like, oh, you have to have a party at 2 to use our library space. But they told me I could go out to the patio by myself. So I'm out here hanging out at the patio at the I'm outside.
We gotta have 2 people to go in the room.
Yeah. So I was like, hopefully it won't rain. But yeah, so far I'm good. The only thing is hopefully my battery will stay active while I'm outside talking, because they won't let you talk in the library by yourself, in an open space. So here I am. So I'm so happy to spend a few minutes with you today. I know we've had some technical issues and I had to update your email address. So thank you for coming to the studio with us live today. So I'm on site today. I'm not in the studio, which is technically my bedroom, but I'm out live today at Southfield Library. So we already know you, Kim. You're a member of DBHE. You're a friend of mine. You're a sister. You run the Positive Sisters organization. You're the former president of the National Association of Women, Black Women in Real Estate or Construction, excuse me. And you are the CEO and president of Nail-Rite. So tell us
Exactly.
anything else that we want to know. Tell us what's been happening, what's new. The last time we had a lengthy conversation on the phone, you were telling me that you were interested in getting started with commercial real estate. You're already doing commercial real estate, but it's on the commercial side. So now you want to work more with businesses. And I just wanted to get a little bit more information from you about that. And I'm sure our viewing audience is interested as well.
Exactly. So commercial real estate is in the residential sector is anything that is more than 4 units. So you
Correct.
might see
Yep.
a quadplex. So if you see an apartment that has 6 units, 8 units, then that is deemed a commercial property. And anything above that, um, that can go up to 1,000 units with 4 or 5 buildings, and you'll have a chance to actually, you know, build passive income from multi-unit uh, buildings. And so there's a real demand. A lot of people know there were some real hardships that people experienced with
Mm-hmm.
COVID. Some
Right.
people had hardships. Some people just said, I'm not going to pay my rent because I don't have to.
Yeah.
And for
That's
whatever
happening with
reason,
cars now
no
too. People
judgment,
can't afford.
no judgment.
Yeah, people can't afford gas, so they're like getting their cars repoed. I mean, we are like in really serious times right now,
Yeah.
where you have to really count your blessings every day.
Right. And so, what I've been doing is learning more about this process of acquiring large multi unit buildings. And I have a few partnerships. So, I have properties, I've owned properties in Atlanta. I own properties in San Diego, California, but I'm here in Detroit. I'm
Right.
not managing, running after tenants,
Oh, I
no
love that.
termites, tenants, or taxes. It's a full-fledged property management team that takes care of everything. And I'm going to remove my glasses because I'm catching a glare from the sun.
Oh my
And
goodness, I'm so bright.
no, not from
I'm just
you. It's just that I
oh.
have moved to my window. And so it's like I could see this glare on my glasses, so I couldn't see the screen. So I'm still
I've got
blind.
it's just all a blur. I can't see anything hardly but the sun. I was upset. I'm like, I left my moonlight at home, and then I looked up, look at all the sun out here. So
Yeah,
we
you
got
got plenty of
all this
sunlight. You're
lighting. I
looking
got plenty of
beautiful.
light right now.
You're
I'm like
looking
glowing right now.
amazing. Yeah, so this has introduced me to a whole nother level of wealth creation.
Yeah,
Not that the other strategies don't work, but it's like work smarter, not harder. And
exactly.
what aligns with the kind of lifestyle you want to live? I'm graduating from being that small, managing my own companies, with the properties and tenants. I'm really good at it now. I'll hire myself out to make sure you get a good tenant, but I don't want to do the day to day anymore. And with this new system that I was introduced to, like I said, the first project was 653 units, then 250. And now we have just a 12-unit complex in San Diego. But if you know anything about San Diego, they
Yeah.
just rob you on property anyway. But it's
Oh,
only a couple blocks from the beach. So you can imagine the price and the appreciation value. So what we do instead of fixing and flipping homes, for those who know that real estate strategy, we invest in real estate, multi-unit apartments. We try and be around 100 because that allows you to scale. If I, raise the rent $100 and I have,
mhm.
100 units, that's like 10 grand. You scaled. If I had 10 apartments
Absolutely.
and I raised it 100, I got $1,000. But if you take the value of those 10 and invest in a project and your percent of return, it's a way to grow money. It may not be the most lucrative cash flow, but it will build a net worth. It'll build assets quickly and preserve your initial principal. So if I was to get a 20 or 30% return in the stock market, I might have lucked up and bought some Zoom stock, and Zoom went crazy during the pandemic because
Right.
everybody went to Zoom. That's not an everyday thing.
Yeah, it's not happening right now. I don't even want to look at
Them
my
stock
stock.
has come down.
It's
But
depressing.
what you learn is, you still invest in good companies, so your money stays
Right.
and you preserve it, but you don't get the same rate of growth.
Not at
So with
all.
our projects, in 3 years, 3 to 4 years, just say if I did a $50,000 investment, I'll make 40,000. And that's
That's
like an
awesome.
80% return. So you do that a couple of times in 1 year, you
You're
know,
set.
you're good.
Yeah.
And then now you can go invest in some of those cash flow properties or whatever, other strategy you want to use. So this is what I've been doing now. Well, because so many people are excited about this, I started with another group learning how to develop, which means new construction from the ground up. And
That
this
is
is really
awesome.
exciting to me. So I go build my own 27 units, and then you leverage that and go build your own 100 unit complex. So I'm very excited. I'm still in the early phase of my development. You might have seen me a couple weeks ago. I was in Colorado, and I say everything works in divine order. My hotel was in the midst of the most massive development. And
Awesome.
Kimle being Kimle, I walked to those construction trailers. I'm like, can we talk? They gave me
That's
their
awesome.
cards. They introduced me to businesses who will build for you. And the state of Colorado is looking for investors. So in this syndicated program and process, you would just ask who's willing to invest. And people say, I don't have $50,000. That's only for rich people. Well, I used to believe that too, but that's a myth
Mm-hmm.
because many people have 401ks on their jobs. You
Right.
can convert that into a self-directed. Most of us are
Yeah.
afraid to touch it because we'll get hit with taxes. But if you
Yeah. And
convert
we
it to
have a lot of us.
self-directed, go
Yeah.
ahead.
We have equity in our homes too, so you could just pull
Equity in your
50,000.
home. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
just pull it
another
right out
way.
the house.
Excuse me one second. I got to turn this fan on, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna step away too because I actually need to go grab my laptop bag. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to go grab my laptop bag. So this is what happens when you're live.
Live and in person. You get one of them hot flashes come up on you.
All kinds of
It's
things
all,
happening. Yeah.
it's all about being a woman.
Oh my goodness. Well, I love your new look. I love the glasses. Every time I see you, you look different. So I just love how you are like such a diva. I was gonna say, so since I've been rewatching your interviews, because while you're interviewing people, you're focusing on what they're saying and what you're about to say. So I got to really listen to your heart from rewatching the first two videos. And when our first interview, we talked about George Webb and the ecosystem or the web, which is George Fraser. I'm sorry, the ecosystem or the web is what he calls it. And tell me how you walked into this opportunity where you're building a network with other women who also want to invest. It's kind of like an investors group. When you spoke to our group last year, you spilled it out and told us we could start our own investment group. But how did you walk into the opportunity and how did you connect with these individuals?
So one of my philosophies in life is if someone presents an opportunity, say yes.
We
As
talked about
you
that in the
said
last
earlier
podcast.
about,
Exactly.
let's say passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Right.
How
The
about if you
acronym,
start
yeah.
saying yes,
Yeah.
and then if it doesn't work out, you say no.
You
But
just walk out of it.
and then you
Yeah.
just say, no, that's not for me. But at least
Right.
investigate it. Or it might be just a no, not now. Okay.
Right.
So I said yes to contributing a chapter in a book called Real Estate for Wealth for Women through Real Estate.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, I'll do that. I talked about construction and what you need to know on a project. And then they invited me to Los Angeles. I'm like, cool. I love traveling anyway. Anybody who knows me know I love traveling. So I said yes, and I went. That was November. It's cold here. And that's when I ended up attending a 3-day wealthy real estate conference with Monique Holmes. Shout out to Monique. She's my queen diva. And I met all these amazing women, and we have started learning from each other. We learned so many strategies about real estate. I only knew one real estate strategy, actually two: fix and flip or buy and hold. I didn't know about syndications or buying and flipping land or buying and flipping apartments. So we all go in together a little bit, doing a lot, and finance the rest of the debt. In 2 or 3 years, we make some capital improvements that's improving the property itself, and the rents goes up. And in the commercial space, the value of real estate is based on the income it generates. We call it the NOI, or the net operating income. That's the income after your expenses, and that's the value. So if I take apartment complex, 650 units, if I add, $200 a unit, that's a lot of income. So I've just boosted the value. And so now the price of my property, I could sell for more. And so we did that as lease turns over and took care of any vacancies and brought all those rents up to market rents. And like I said, in the training we did, there was an increase of 20 mil in a matter of 19 months. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know about money growing that fast, nor had I been introduced to it. So the most important lesson is be willing to say yes. So I contributed to the book, and that took me to a new space. And recently I contributed to another book this year called Unstoppable, learning how to be fierce, fearless, and unelfwittable in business and life. And in that process, I've had speaking engagements to come from that. So every time you say yes, you open the doors to be blessed. And I don't say that frivolously. I know that to be true. Why? Because that's been my experience. So leading down that path, like I said, it took me into the development. Now, this past week or 2 weeks ago, I said yes to construction. Who knew the Crain business would rate me as one of the notable women in construction? I just followed the path. Followed the path, and that's why I look at life. Success is not a destination. It's just those milestones you come across that you say, I'm on the right path. You get something beautiful happen and you say, like, wow, I'm really tuned into who I am, my purpose, my true identity. As many of you know my story, I struggled with being a Black woman for many years. And then when I was 11, my mother put us in an all-white school in the rural areas of Ohio. And that didn't help my value at all. Why is the inside of your hand white and the outside black? Or are your teeth really that white? Or is it because they're up against a black backdrop? You're talking about a person here, right? So
Right.
I struggled with that until my late 30s, but I found my inner essence of beauty. And I started teaching women how to find those painful experiences. And that became my purpose, to empower women to find your inner essence of beauty. That will lead you and transform your life. So your self-worth will actually become your net worth. And it's been a blessing, a journey. Um, I was interviewing on a podcast recently, and just talk about the amount of wealth I've created through real estate. I've learned about investing in stocks because you have to have multiple vehicles for your wealth creation. But I understand money now. Money is not something I get to spend. Money is something I get to accelerate. How can I accelerate this amount of money and make it bigger in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort? How can my money go to work for me? And with that mindset, I now look for opportunities. Can I put some money here and it grows? I invest in small businesses. I do coaching for small businesses through my company, All Things Small Biz. We give you big business strategies for small business growth. I have a lady who's she's getting ready to, I connect her with someone who can help her get her product mass produced so she could be on the shelves of stores like Walmart and Target. So I just asked them, are you ready for a multi-million-dollar life?
I love that.
You're worth it. So, yeah, but today I wanted to talk about, really the importance of having a community. We just celebrated Juneteenth, and we are so excited that, historically, all the slaves were actually released from the physical enslavement. But how many of us have not been released from financial enslavement and we don't even know these opportunities exist? This happened for me in
Mhm.
just the last 3 years. It's not new,
Right.
but that was some Juneteenth experience for me, waking everyone up financially. So that's why I spend my time. I like to say I'm a part of the Harriet Tubman crew. We want to set everyone financially free.
I love
To
that.
build that wealth, legacy wealth, and to close that gap that was stripped from us. The properties that we did own, they were taken away with highways, roads, bridges. We have Black Bottom in the city of Detroit to talk
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
And now that they're coming back talking about turning that highway, that section of the highway back to a boulevard, I'm like, I need to be on the advisory to make
Mhm.
sure because the federal government has said, again, Juneteenth moment here. The federal government has said
Mhm.
any Black community or disenfranchised community that was lost wealth because of roads,
Mhm.
communities, they have a right to have grant monies to rebuild. So if they're going to take a boulevard and put some retail, I said
Yeah.
I will be on that committee to make sure every descendant of Black
Mhm.
bottom family members that want to go into business, you line that boulevard.
That's wonderful.
So we have to know these things so
Absolutely.
we live in our freedom. This is a law, a part of the infrastructure bill. Executive Order 13985. Google it. Learn all
Mhm.
the sectors. Just think about the electronic cars, electrified vehicles, as we state. They have to have charging stations.
Mhm.
This same executive order says, hey, they got to make sure, you have to make sure that when you place those charging stations in community, brown and Black communities, they have a means to make money too.
Mhm.
So we should be looking at aligning our main boulevards like our Detroit, Gratiot Avenue, Woodward Avenue with charging stations. Yeah. And take advantage of this wealth creation. It's a whole new. Someone said it's not the let's get back to norm, it's the new.
The
And
new norm.
the new. I don't like he said instead of the new norm, just the new. um, I just love empowering people. Excuse me, this crazy phone is alarming. I love empowering women. And I tell my brothers all the time, I'm doing you a favor because you have a powerful woman to pick up. Hey, hey,
I love
you have
that.
a good sister friend. But we have the widest range of influence. We are over the children. And if our minds are
Mhm.
jacked, our kids are whacked. That's just real talk. That's not
Mhm.
race. That's just whoever's over the children sets the tone. Your
Mhm.
highest altitude becomes their foundation. So raise the bar. Let's raise the bar
Mhm.
on ourselves. And then the men who love us, you have not met a man who loves a woman and is not ready to be in her corner. So let's just keep empowering ourselves. You
Mhm.
know, this media hype of the strong, independent Black woman that doesn't need a man. I tell people all the time, I might be a medical doctor. When I go to work, I'll do amazing surgeries. I might
Mhm.
be the best surgeon in the world. But when I come home, I'm not cutting on anybody.
Right.
Need to be touched, loved, talked to, cuddled, hugged, kissed, have some fun, go on outings. I need that same level of love as anyone else. So don't judge a woman because of the altitude that she chooses to pursue for her finances, because it's a blessing to everyone who comes in her circle. The
Mhm.
the woman in Proverbs, the virtuous woman, she was a merchant. She handled her business and her family. So don't let
Right.
media make you think, oh, that's an independent Black woman. I'm gonna walk away. She wants a man who makes X amount of money. It's a blessing if he does, but I'll take an open mind any day because if he open minded, we'll build together.
Right. Exactly.
I'll just say that this is your part and this is my part. Let's make it happen. And you
Mhm.
talk about enriching love. We actually host with this women's group for real estate. We realized it was necessary to do some retreats for couples so they can understand why someone wants to put $50,000 in a pot and their spouses are saying, have you lost your mind? We do a soul retreat for for women doing real estate. You bring your partners. And I went as a single woman, but I learned some valuable lessons. So as I'm dating and bringing someone into my circle, I can say, hey, I have some tools because, I'm talking about, hey, I'm going to put $100,000 in a pot. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
might be saying like, uh, I don't know if we should, you know, and women like, I don't want to get into a relationship because it's like constraining. No, it's called communication.
Right.
Like, let me help you understand what this $100,000 can do. Let me help you
Mm-hmm.
understand what $25,000 can do. And you talked about earlier about people who have equity in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my clients, I'm actually teaching how to get a HELOC, line of credit, on
Mm-hmm.
their house and invest in real estate. One real estate property can change your destiny. I bought a property for my family. It was my first investment when I realized my parents were not going to be prepared for their senior years. At this time,
Mm-hmm.
they were only in their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was nearing retirement from General Motors, and they were unprepared. And traditionally, or typically, um, black men may die before their wives.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's lifestyle would have changed. So, and I believe my life has been blessed because of this, because the Bible says,
Mm-hmm.
honor your mother and father that your days may be long. I gave them my first investment property and all the revenue that came from that property from 1996 until my mom's transition in 2014. They kept, and it was upwards of $1,000 a month. It was a property on the east side of Detroit. My mom saved that money and put down on a new house. She said she wanted a house. She didn't care about being old. She wanted a new house before she transitioned. And she had
Mm-hmm.
that experience. So if you own a property, clear and free, through guidance, don't run to the bank.
Right.
Your house is not an ATM machine.
Right.
Okay. That's not to go get some money from your house to get a car, to buy a fur or a nice vacation. Now, if you take out enough to do that, fine. But you must get a house, and that added rent from the house will pay the mortgage back, the loan, plus help you save that $600 a month so you can then buy the car.
Right.
You can buy the fur. You can take that extravagant vacation. But an asset is funding your lifestyle versus credit cards funding your lifestyle and eating you up in debt and preventing you from acquiring assets that can change your future. Because if your debt load is too high, no one's going to lend you money. So if you get your debt together, get an investment property, leverage your house, pay off the debt, and go buy a down payment on a house. That rent is going to pay that house off. Take out a 20-year loan.
Mm-hmm.
We often forget that what you can plan for 10 years, we too often underestimate what I can do in 10 years. Now,
Mm-hmm.
all the things I'm gonna do in the next 12 months, and then we say, oh, my plan, my New Year's resolutions all fell off 90 days. But if you just say year one, year two, year three, you look up in 10 years, wow, I said I wanted to own apartments. I was thinking I couldn't do that. I couldn't afford it. How could that happen? Now I learned to process, to have a stake of ownership in, let's see, 650 and 250. What is that? 900 doors of rent?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is Atlanta we're talking about, people. They pay real rent and some serious rent in the outskirts of Atlanta.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too. One of my former clients, when I was a real estate agent before, she actually gave. She was getting married. She was an investor, investing in Detroit. She lived in California, and she's like, "I'm getting married. I can't invest anymore. Do you want one of my properties?" I'm like, "Wait a minute, come again?" I said, "I don't think I heard you right." So she actually gave me an investment property, which I gave to my mom to put into her nonprofit. So it's definitely a good seed to plant to
Yes,
sow into your parents' life like that. It was my
absolutely.
first house. I didn't even live in it one day. I just gave it to my mom.
See? And that's what I did. I built that house up, and the very first rent went to my parents.
Mhm.
And I was the property manager for that. I had over that whole stretch, if I had about 7 months of vacancy at most. but I'm very good with screening. I look for homeowners who just happen to be renting. They buy
Yeah.
curtains and rugs, and their house looks just as good as they paying a Chase Bank or they're paying rents. Okay,
Hmm.
so you want to look for. I learned how to find homeowners versus a tenant who just need a place to sleep.
Hmm.
And we help inspire them by saying we will assist with getting their credit worthy. So a lot of my tenants on some of my other properties, I had a 2-family unit. I had a lot of turnover there, but I intended to have a lot of turnover there. And so I would say you should not live in this flat longer than 2 to 3 years.
Hmm.
Like I said, poverty can't last a decade.
Hmm.
Poverty is the raw result of not making proper choices every year to move yourself toward financial freedom. So I helped many. There was these 2 single moms, and they both had a little boy. I'll never forget them. And so they had the 3 bedroom, and their 2 boys shared the room, and they worked together to save money until they can go buy their homes. And I educated these 2 ladies how to get their credit, how to stash their bank account, showed them how to put the money in your bank account, even if you go get it, because when you show the statement, you can show the deposits.
Hmm.
Don't just spend the money and it never hits the bank.
Hmm.
That's a lesson, people.
Right.
Put the money
Yeah.
in the bank, even if you have to go get it. When you have to do a statement, they see you can verify that much money comes into your household.
Yeah. Well, we
Then
are
spend it.
right. We're so excited about you being the speaker at our July 5th event. Just wanted to find out if you had any closing remarks about what you would like to speak about. I know you're going to talk about financial freedom following up July 4th, Independence Day, and Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Any closing quotes or remarks that you'd like to leave with the audience?
I would like to leave with your audience. If you are looking for true independence, you want a real freedom day, you do not want to miss this ribbon cutting because we're going to talk about finding your financial freedom right where you are. You'll find 3 tools to get you started right now towards your financial freedom. It'll be right after Independence Day for the United States, 4th of July.
Mhm.
And we just celebrated days upon days and weeks
Yes.
of activities for Juneteenth, celebrating the national commemoration of acknowledging what happened to African Americans on these soils. So come, become
Mhm.
financially free, learn how to be an entrepreneur, do real estate, and change your destiny. There's a bright future waiting for you with your name on it.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Kimle. Once again, for more information about this upcoming event on July 5th, visit us on dbhg.org. If you would like to RSVP, you can email me at nancy@dbhg.org. And remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Kimle. And we
Thank
look forward to seeing you
you.
on the 5th.
Glad to
Bye-bye.
be there. Bye, everyone.
I've got this halo in the back. I'm like, I feel like an angel tonight.